What if I was to tell you a true story about an incredible miracle, a gift of sight that ended in personal calamity? A story with the potential to prevent a global catastrophe unfolding now before our very eyes. This true story was an opening of a new vision and light that closed into an impassable darkness. In the 1950s, a man underwent a life-changing operation. That man, whose identity remains a secret because of his privacy and because of what happened next, we'll call SB. SB spent his life working with tools using his skilled hands. Hands and ears he'd learned to make sensitive and accurate to the touch. He lived an independent life, but it was far from perfect. It wasn't a life he'd asked for, but one he'd learned to grow accustomed to. Because you see, SB lived almost his entire life completely blind. At the age of only 9 months, as a baby, SB lost his sight. Then, over 50 years later, at the age of 52, an operation of corneal transplants restored his sight. The news was heralded as a modern-day miracle. For the first time, SB saw the moon and the stars. He saw the blue sky and the clouds above. He saw birds and plants and animals. He saw all the colors and textures of the world he'd never truly seen before. For the first time, SB saw people. And he saw busy cities and roads and cars. He learned to tell the time and read written words, using not his hands, but his sight. SB saw everything with his new eyes. But SB was overwhelmed with the gift he'd been given. He was unprepared for the moment when it came. He could not tell what was near and what was far. But most devastating of all, SB struggled with facial expressions and people. SB struggled to understand the human face. When he was blind, he had no issues navigating and crossing the road, but now he was fearful of the moving cars. With his newfound freedom, he struggled to recognize and understand this new world. SB struggled more and more with life, until one day he ended it, his life, unable to process the gift he'd been given. Just 2 years after being granted this gift of sight, SB died desperate and depressed. Tragically, in what should have been a miracle, SB had gained his vision, but had lost his sight. But the real lesson here isn't about SB and this tragic true story. The problem is much bigger.